All right, so I wanted to talk about Springtrap because a lot of people are disappointed with this killer. I really don't hate him. I'm not in love with him. Like, I love his design. It's absolutely phenomenal. I love the doors, the little animations that play out, being able to grab survivors with the axe or the doors, things like that, I think are absolutely phenomenal. 10 out of 10. Looks great. The screaming, the Mori, everything. I'm a big fan of it all. The gameplay power, I understand why people have a problem. It's not bad by any means, but it's very dull. It's pretty generic, you know? Like, he's essentially just Huntress with one hatchet, and then once he loses that hatchet, he's 115. Like, at the end of the day, if you really think about that, he's literally just a budget Huntress who has the ability to teleport, you know? Other than that, he doesn't really have any special abilities. Now, I think they could have made it much more interesting. You know, he has his axe, he could throw it. I think they could make it to where he recalls it, and when it recalls it, it tracks his current position, and it goes through walls and it'll hit survivors when he recalls it. Instead of it just materializing in his hand, it could come back to him when he recalls it and it could hit a survivor. That small change alone would dramatically make this killer way more fun, way more interesting, increase his skill ceiling by like a factor of 1,000. You know what I mean? And it's just a very small, very simple change, too, that they could do. You know, people compare him, like I said, to Huntress and to Xenomorph, because that's basically what his doors are. You know, his doors are just like Xenomorph's control turret stations. His grab is essentially Dredge's locker grab. It's not too radically different. I think a lot of people were really hoping for more different animatronics, like, I don't know, like a couple ideas I had off the top of my head. Maybe you could go to the doors and switch animatronics, and the animatronics had different capabilities. Like, so you go to the door, you come out, you select Foxy, and Foxy has dashes and can hit people with their dashes. You go to the door again, you come out as Chica, and Chica can pounce on people and like, I don't know, eat them up or something, you know. I don't know, just, you know, something more dynamic, something more interesting, right? And then you go in and you come out of Springtrap and you have a throwing axe. Or even they could have done something like something a little bit more simple, like kind of like Pyramid Head, how he can kill people who are on Death Hook. Maybe actually you make it to where Springtrap puts somebody into an animatronic suit when they're on Death Hook and they die and they go on to the next game, but you can actually leave that animatronic there or position it wherever you want and switch to it at any time. And then Springtrap will go dormant, AFK, while you switch to the new animatronic that you just made out of a survivor's corpse or something like that. I think people's biggest problem, because there are an insane amount of complaints, we're talking hundreds to thousands of complaints on the forums about how boring and generic his power is. I think that's the biggest problem, right? He's not weak by any means. He's very strong. I would put him in A tier. He's very easy to win with. He's a very simple, straightforward killer. I think that people really were hoping for a much more dynamic killer along the lines of Dracula or Vecna. I don't think there's ever a reason for a killer to be 110 with how poorly maps are designed nowadays. Unless the killers like Blight or Spirit or Hillbilly, those killers, I would see more of a reason for them being 110 compared to Springtrap, if we're being honest, right? But yeah, I definitely understand people's concerns. Budget Huntress, budget Xenomorph, budget Dredge, kind of just all wrapped up into one. If they, like I said, if they implemented the comeback mechanic with the axe, that would make him much more interesting. I think people would love him much more. And it doesn't really add that insane level of a complex mechanic. You know, survivors will just have to realize now, okay, the axe is behind me somewhere. I got to look out for it, basically. You know, it's not like we're doing the thing where we do add all the different animatronics and they have to think about every single animatronic's playstyle and things like that. So I think they should do that. A very simple change that would literally make this killer way more unique, way better, way more interesting, and I think people would really love him at that point. So yeah, but that does it for this one. I kind of just wanted to talk about this because how many people were complaining about it. So yeah, that does it for this one. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to that good stuff. Let me know what you guys think about Springtrap. Do you really think that he's just a generic, boring kind of amalgam of other killers, or what? Do you like the idea about him having the recall on his axe that injures people? I think it would be great, honestly. Yeah, but so that does it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, that good stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one.